Yes, when you wear this, your body will change into a beauty no man has ever seen. But remember, do not take off the underwear. Before Sabrina could turn to ask the old woman what would happen if she took it off, the old woman disappeared like smoke in the dark night. Sabrina stood there shaking, holding the strange underwear tightly in her hands. Her heart was beating fast, not with excitement but with fear. She had known pain all her life, but magic was something only old women talked about near evening fires. But Sabrina's life had never been normal. She was born into a poor family in the quiet village of Ujit. Everyone knew her, but never with kindness. Sabrina's body was thin like broomsticks. And her face, the villagers loved to whisper about it. Look at her face, like God made it in a hurry, they said meanly. While other women in Ubit had full round shapes that moved like the beat of drums, Sabrina moved like a shadow carried by the wind. Silent, unnoticed, unwanted. But hidden beneath all that teasing was a secret. Sabrina was born with a rare gift. A blessing she did not ask for. A blessing her mother whispered to her on her deathbed. Any man who married Sabrina would rise from nothing to great wealth and success. But Sabrina never told anyone. She was not looking for riches. She was looking for love. True love. A man who would not be scared of her face or her thin body. A man who would choose her for her heart. But years passed. No man came close to her. Even single men who were desperate to get married avoided her like she was a curse. Some men even said openly, "If Sabrina is the last woman on earth, I will stay single forever." They did not know that marrying Sabrina meant marrying wealth itself. Sabrina accepted her life quietly. She planted yams behind her hut. She got water from the river alone. She danced in her room to songs only her heart could hear. But she refused to lose hope. It was during the Yam festival. Colors everywhere, drums shaking the air, laughter filling the sky. Sabrina stood far from everyone like she always did. It was not her choice. No one wanted to stand near her. While the women danced in circles and the men boasted and laughed, Sabrina stood alone beside a dying bonfire, watching shadows move. Then something happened. A young man started walking toward her. His name was Okizi, a handsome, gentle palm wine tapper known for his calm spirit and quiet strength. When the villagers saw him walking to Sabrina, they held their breath. Some nudged each other. Some laughed. Some whispered mean things. But Okizi ignored all of them. "Good evening," he said softly. Sabrina looked behind her to make sure he was not greeting someone else. "Me?" she asked. "Yes, you." Those two words entered her heart like warm sunlight. They talked and talked and talked. Okizi did not look away from her. He did not laugh at her. He did not shift away uncomfortably. He listened. For the first time, Sabrina felt seen. At the end of the festival, he walked her home through the quiet path that led to the edge of the village where she lived. He insisted. "I want to make sure you get home safely," he said. And from that night everything changed. Every evening, just before dark, Okizi would come carrying a small jar of palm wine. Sabrina would bring out her curved wooden cups. They would sit outside under the orange sky, laughing, sharing stories, teasing each other. The friendship grew, the bond got stronger, and slowly, gently, and beautifully, love grew. True love, pure love, the kind Sabrina had waited her whole life for. Okizi loved her for real. Not for beauty, not for wealth, not for what she could become. He loved her, her laughter, her quiet spirit, her strength. And Sabrina gave him the piece of her heart she had kept hidden for years. When they finally got married, the villagers were almost shocked to the ground. How can a man like Okizi choose Sabrina? What kind of charm did she use on him? This love cannot be normal. The whispers followed them everywhere. When they walked by, men shook their heads. Women hissed under their breath. Young girls made fun of Sabrina openly. But Okizi held her hand tighter each time. And Sabrina, she smiled because for once in her life, she had something no one could take from her. Happiness. 2 months into the marriage, things began to change. Okizi's palm wine business suddenly exploded. Farmers from other villages came looking for him. People started buying in large amounts. He became so rich that the villagers began to panic with jealousy. How can a simple palm wine tapper become this rich? What is happening? Before long, they found out Sabrina's secret. Now, the same men who made fun of her wanted her. The same men who refused to greet her now bowed before her. The same men who said they would rather stay single wished they could take Okizi's place. But it was too late. Sabrina belonged to her true love. Then came the rainy night. The thunder cracked loudly. The wind howled like angry spirits. Sabrina woke up to find the door wide open. Kizi was gone. No footsteps, no signs of a fight, no scream, no goodbye. Just emptiness. Some villagers said spirits took him. Others said the gods were angry. Some whispered that jealousy had led to dark things. But Sabrina believed he was not dead. Her heart broke into pieces too small to pick up. After 2 lonely years without Okizi, Sabrina's life changed in a way no one in Ujit had ever imagined. The same men who once swore they would rather stay single than marry her. The same men who made fun of her face. The same men who laughed at her thin body, now lined up in front of her hut. They formed a line that stretched past the old Udala tree. Men from nearby villages traveled miles just hoping to see her. Some wore their best outfits. Some brought goats. Some brought yams. Some cried like babies, begging her to choose them. Sabrina had become the most wanted woman in all of Ujit. The beautiful girls, those who once made fun of her, watched with burning jealousy. They whispered behind her back, "One day her secrets will come out. She must be using something to charm them. What does she have that we do not?" Some even gathered the courage to walk up to her and ask, "Sabrina, what are you using? Tell us your secret." But Sabrina only smiled, that gentle, quiet smile, and walked away without a word. They did not know the truth, that her blessing was a burden she never asked for, a gift the gods forced on her, a gift that only brought her pain. Among all the men begging to marry her, one man stood out. Deli. Deli the fisherman. Deli the smooth talker. Deli whose words were sweeter than a ripe mango. He would sit beside her hut every evening pretending to cry. He brought her roasted fish, fresh crabs, and small gifts carved from wood. "Sabrina," he said one night, wiping fake tears, "my heart beats only for you. Me love you. Let me replace your sadness with joy." Sabrina's heart was tired. Tired of being alone. Tired of being made fun of. Tired of waiting for Okizi who never came back. So after many months of sweet words and gentle attention, she agreed. She married Deli. Deli pretended to love her, pretended to care for her, pretended she was his blessing from the gods. But once her gift started working, once fish filled his nets every morning, once money filled his pockets, once people started calling him the richest fisherman in 3 villages, his true nature came out. He stopped coming home early. He stopped eating her meals. He stopped sleeping beside her. Then one hot afternoon, the truth burst through the village like fire. Deli had run off with a young woman from Ajit town. A girl with round hips, glowing skin, and laughter like bells. He left Sabrina without a goodbye, without shame, without a single look back. For the second time, Sabrina's heart broke. Soon the whole area knew her story. "If you want wealth," the villagers said, "marry Sabrina. But forget beauty, she has none." Men started coming, not for love, not for company, not even for respect, but for quick riches. And one by one she married them. Not because she wanted to, but because she was tired of being alone, tired of the teasing, tired of nights filled with silence and tears. And one by one, after her blessing lifted them from poverty, after wealth touched their lives, after their pockets grew heavy and their faces grew proud, they left her. Some ran away with prettier women. Some simply disappeared like Okizi. Some never came home after tasting wealth. Ujit village started whispering again, but this time with fear. There is something strange about her. Every man she marries becomes rich and then disappears. Maybe she is cursed. Maybe she is a spirit. But the men kept coming. Some out of greed, some out of foolishness, some out of desperation. And every time Sabrina gained a husband, the village held its breath, waiting for the moment he would disappear. Her heart became like a cracked calabash that could hold no joy. She stopped going outside, stopped smiling, stopped believing she was worth loving. Her heart became her hiding place, a silent place where hope went to die. Some villagers felt sorry for her. Most made fun of her. They called her the beautiful blessing wrapped in an ugly body. They whispered this like it was a joke. But to Sabrina it was like a knife. One night, when the moon hung low like a tired lantern, Sabrina walked out of the village, ready to leave Egypt forever. Her steps were slow and heavy. Her eyes were swollen from years of being hurt. Her spirit was tired of carrying a blessing that only brought her pain. On the narrow forest path, the path where spirits were said to walk, she met an old woman. The old woman's white hair flowed like foam on a river. Her eyes glowed with something ancient. She looked at Sabrina as though she had been waiting for her. "Child," the old woman said, "beauty has punished you long enough. Take this underwear. Wear it when the moon rises. You will become what the world respects." She stretched out her wrinkled hand, holding a strange underwear made of silk that shined like water. Sabrina hesitated, but something stronger than fear pushed her forward. She took it. The old woman leaned closer and whispered, "But remember, do not take off the underwear. Not for any reason." Before Sabrina could turn to ask another question, the old woman disappeared like smoke in the dark night. Sabrina shook, staring at the magical underwear. Her heart pounded with fear and hope. She had known suffering all her life. But magic was something only old women talked about near evening fires. Never something meant for her. Sabrina went home quietly. That night, under the pale moonlight, she wore the underwear and went to sleep. In the morning, life as she knew it ended. When she woke up, her skin glowed like a fresh yam. Her shape curved like a goddess carved from pure light. Her face shined like the morning sun dancing on river water. She had become a beauty no eye had ever seen. Even the birds outside her window seemed to pause in disbelief, their songs going quiet. The moment she stepped outside, the entire village stopped. Men carrying firewood dropped it. Women pounding yam forgot to move. Children stood frozen in the middle of playing. Some screamed, some fainted, all stared. The woman they once made fun of, the woman they called ugly, the woman they avoided, now stood before them like a goddess coming down from the sky. Sabrina was beautiful beyond imagination. Suddenly, every man wanted her. Not for wealth, not for blessings, but for her beauty. They brought yam tubers. They brought jewelry. They knelt. They begged. But Sabrina only smiled a small, secret smile, because the old woman's final words kept echoing in her head. Beauty is a gift, but it always collects a price. And Sabrina knew this change had a dark secret, a cost she did not yet understand. But one thing was sure. This time Sabrina would choose her own path, not be used by it. The first man she agreed to marry was Chief Ok, the richest man in Egypt. He owned 10 plots of land. He had large herds of cows. He was the only man in the village who owned a car, and his mansion sat at the center of the village like a palace. Chief Ok had always ignored her when she was plain and unwanted. But now he chased her like a hunter going after a rare animal. He said to himself, "If I marry her, my wealth will grow, and I will also have the most beautiful woman in the village." He promised her everything: respect, protection, riches, anything she wanted. Sabrina, tired of being alone and tired of men who only came for her blessing, agreed. For 2 months, the marriage seemed peaceful. But then everything changed. 2 months into their marriage, Chief Ok's life turned upside down like a boat caught in a storm. His cows died one by one. His lands were taken by people he owed money to. His business fell apart. His car broke down beyond fixing. His wealth disappeared like morning dew under a hot sun. Soon, feeding everyone in his house became a struggle. Sabrina watched quietly as the once proud chief became a broken shadow of himself. One morning, the villagers woke up to a shocking sight. Chief Ok, the wealthy man they once admired, was now wandering around the village begging for food like a madman. Torn clothes, dusty feet, wild eyes, begging for scraps. Yujit gasped. People whispered, "What kind of beauty is this? Why did wealth leave him? What does Sabrina carry?" But Sabrina said nothing. She only watched because deep in her heart she knew. The price for her new beauty had just started to show itself. Chief Ok's fall spread through Yujit like wildfire. Behind mud huts, under mango trees, beside evening fires, the villagers whispered with shaking voices. Not with mockery this time, but with fear. "Her beauty destroys. Her blessing has turned into a curse. What kind of woman is this?" But Sabrina stayed quiet. She watched the once mighty chief, a man who once ate with kings, a man whose footsteps once made other men stand at attention, now roam the village barefoot. His wrapper hung on his waist like rags. Spit gathered at the corners of his mouth. He begged for Gary like a madman who had forgotten yesterday's glory. Children threw stones at him. Women chased him away with brooms. Men shook their heads and whispered curses. But only Sabrina knew the truth. Chief Ok's downfall began the moment he married her. The same blessing that helped Okizi rise. The same gift that lifted Delhi before his betrayal had now twisted into something darker. Something alive, something hungry. And in her heart, Sabrina knew the truth she was afraid to say out loud. It was connected to the underwear she had been warned never to remove. Soon Chief Ok disappeared. One morning, he simply walked out of Yujit, and no one ever heard from him again. His disappearance added fuel to the fire. Yet even with all this happening, men still lined up to marry her. Some boasted, "Let me get rich first. Before her curse catches me, I will run away." Others said, "If we get wealth, is a little madness not a small price? Greed is louder than fear." And so the line of men continued day after day, year after year, until one evening, a man walked into the village wearing a long white robe. The sun was low. The dust rose beneath his feet. His steps were slow, but his presence was powerful. The villagers gasped. Women covered their mouths. Men dropped their jaws. Children hid behind their mothers. When he drew closer, the shock hit the entire village square like thunder. It was Okizi, Sabrina's first love. The only man who had truly loved her. The only heart that had ever chosen her before beauty, wealth, or magic. He was alive. The news traveled fast, running through the village faster than a bush fire. Sabrina heard it and rushed out of her house, her wrapper flying behind her. When she reached the village square and saw him, her knees gave way. She fell at his feet, tears pouring down her face. You are alive," she sobbed. "I knew you were alive." Okizi lifted her gently. His hands trembled as they touched her face. The same face he had loved before the world ever saw beauty in it. "My Sabrina," he whispered. "I came back to you." He told the villagers his story. It was Delhi, the fisherman, the man who betrayed Sabrina, who had kidnapped him out of jealousy. Delhi had tied Okizi in the bush for months. He would have died there. But hunters from a nearby village found him half unconscious and saved his life. "I stayed away to heal and to stay safe," Okizi said. "But I could not hide forever. I had to come back to the only woman I have ever loved." Sabrina's heart shook. She wanted to run into his arms and never let go. But she knew the truth. If she accepted Okizi, the curse would strike him too. He would become like the others, lost, broken, destroyed. And Sabrina would rather die than bring pain to the only man who had ever truly loved her. So she did the only thing she could. She went back to the forest, the place where she had first met the mysterious old woman. The wind was cold. The trees whispered secrets. And there, under the old tree, the old woman appeared again. Sabrina dropped to her knees, crying, "Please take back the underwear. Take back this curse. My love has returned, and I do not want to destroy him." The old woman nodded slowly. "I knew this day would come," she said in a voice older than the earth. "The hearts of men are wicked and selfish. Your beauty was given to punish the greedy, those who came to you not for love, but for what they could gain." She touched Sabrina's shoulder gently. "But the one who truly loves you has returned, so the curse has served its purpose." She pointed to Sabrina's waist. "Go home. Remove the underwear. Burn it tonight. Your suffering ends." Sabrina wept with gratitude. She thanked the old woman and ran home faster than she had ever moved in her life. She removed the underwear, the cursed beauty, the gift that had destroyed lives, and threw it into the fire. The flames swallowed it in seconds, and in the blink of an eye, her body changed. The glowing skin disappeared. The curves melted away. The goddess beauty was gone. She became Sabrina again, the thin girl with gentle eyes and a heart that loved too deeply. When she stepped outside, Okizi stood waiting. He opened his arms. She walked into them, and for the first time in her life, Sabrina felt safe. They married quietly, without crowds, without gifts, without the noise of the world. And together, hand in hand, heart in heart, they lived happily ever after. The end.